folks, and welcome to another Battle of the Bits. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most iconic video games of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, a little bit of history here. Back in the early 1990s, if you had a console on the market, having some kind of mascot was seen as being an essential. Obviously, Nintendo were already well established with the Mario franchise at this point, and Sega had given it a try. We'd had the Alex Kidd games on the Master System and early Mega Drive era, but whilst they had their fans, they never really caught the attention in the same way that Mario had. So, Sega went back to the drawing board and decided to come up with a character that was the entire antithesis of what Mario was. This meant Sega were after a fast, loud, brash, attitude-laden character, very on brand for the 1990s, it must be said, and the character they came up with was Sonic the Hedgehog, the blue blur, the little speed demon on the 16-bit system, the Mega Drive. Now, despite the fact that this game was conceived as a Mega Drive title to push the new system and therefore Sega forward and ahead of Nintendo in the console space, the Master System, of course, was still massively popular in Europe. Hence, a Master System version was produced. So, today we're going to look at both games and we're going to see which version of Sonic the Hedgehog I personally feel is the better version. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. So, here we are with the Mega Drive version to start with. So, there's the iconic Sega logo and Sonic team, and the title screen that's oh so familiar to millions of gamers worldwide. Now, here we go. Obviously, you start off in the iconic green hill zone. This is, to many people, what they think of when they think of Sonic. Now, the reason this has become so iconic is because the green hill zone was used as the attract mode. You saw this in the shops, you saw it in a window. This is what you saw. To many people, this aesthetic is Sonic the Hedgehog. And you know what? As an introduction to the game and the character, it's brilliant. It's bright, it's colourful, it's energetic, it's fast, it's furious, it's fun. It's exactly what you need when you're trying to introduce a new character to somebody. It sets the tone of the character, not just the game, but the character perfectly. Now, obviously, as you can see there, I completed the stage, enough rings, and there I am on the special stage. Again, this is something else that many people do link with the original Sonic the Hedgehog, the iconic rotating special stage, which, as you can see, I'm ever so slightly rubbish at there. But that's how you get the Chaos Emeralds. They became an important and vital part of the game as you played through it. Now, that's not to say they're the most important part of the game, but they are really important. And as I said, this is the original Sonic. It looks and plays superbly and hits all the right notes and the exact intention that Sega had for the game and the character. This was completely different to Mario. And now over to the Master System version. As you can see, it's a much simpler title screen to kick things off, but it still retains that Sonic character and flair. First big difference here, you get a map screen showing you where Sonic lives. And here we go. This is the 8-bit version of Green Hill Zone. And you know what? First off, for a Master System game, it looks and moves brilliantly. But secondly, and perhaps most importantly, it's a very good representation of the Mega Drive version of the stage. It retains the speed, the feel, the character of the game. Now, one thing to note here on the Master System, you don't have to do the special stages to get the Chaos Emeralds. They're hidden within the stages. And the next thing you'll notice is when we get onto Act 2 here, the gameplay changes, because Sonic's all about speed, right? That's what Green Hill Zone Act 1 is all about, yeah? Well, welcome to Green Hill Zone Act 2 on the Master System, where it becomes a slightly slower, more measured platform game. Yep, that's right. This is arguably more in tone with the Mario games of the time. Not that I'm saying it's an exact Mario game, but it has that feel. It's less frantic than the Mega Drive game, but it still plays brilliantly. This was an example of a developer, in this case Sega themselves, playing to the strengths of the system when converting the game. This is not Mega Drive Sonic the Hedgehog. For the most part, this is a completely different game, and for my mind, it's all the better for it. It's a different feel, a different tone to the game, and I, for one, really enjoy it. Now, it's not going to be for everyone, that's obvious, because it's Sonic, but it's not Sonic. But I think, given the constraints of the system, this is easily the best that could have been hoped for. You could not have done Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System just like the Mega Drive game. It wouldn't happen. Now, it's quite obvious from those clips there, you can see that visually the games are close enough in terms of how they're stylized to identifiably be the same character in the same universe, yet obviously different given that one is on a much more powerful system than the other. The other big difference between the two really is the music, and to be fair, I think the Master System gives a darn good account of itself. Let's just play a couple of samples here so you can see for yourself and make your own mind up. So, as you could tell then, the Mega Drive clearly has the edge in terms of the Sonics, if you'll pardon the pun. However, the Master System version does, like it does visually, acquit itself incredibly well. Now, my personal preference for the two is actually the Master System version. I prefer the slightly slower pace, the slightly more measured approach to gameplay, and yeah, it was the first version that I properly played, having owned a Master System when Sonic 1 came out. Now, I know not everyone's going to agree with that, and that's perfectly fine. If you don't, tell me down below in the comments and tell me why you don't. And if you do agree with me, tell me in the comments why you agree with me. So, that's all for today's episode. I've been Rob, this has been 81632-bit. As usual, if you've enjoyed this video, leave a comment, hit the like button. If you really enjoy it and you want to watch some of my other videos, or you already have, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified of when I do another upload. And generally, yeah, enjoy yourselves. This is Rob from 81632-bit saying, I'll see you next time.